Okay, what you're going to be doing in this lesson is we're going to take a proportional relationship and it's going to be shown different ways, like either as a sentence, as a data table, as a graph, okay, and asking you constant of proportionality, unit rate, slope equations, okay, and then a question. But I'm only going to give you a piece on every one of these problems. I'm going to give you part of the relationship. So I'm either going to give you the data table, or I'm going to give you the graph, or I'm going to give you the equation, and I want to see if you can come up with all of the rest of it, kind of like a puzzle. But this is all related to each other. So I really think you can do this if you just relax and think about what's going on. So let's do number one together. Okay, what I would advise you to do is look at the part that they give you. Okay, I'm giving you in problem one, I'm giving you the data table. So let's just think about this data table. 0 weeks. Okay, now we're talking about Emma and volleyball practices. Okay, so after 0 weeks, she's had 0 practices. After 1 week, she's had 4 practices. After 2 weeks, she's had 8. After 3 weeks, she's had 12. After 4 weeks, she's had 16. Okay, there's many different ways you could come up with all of this information, but I'll just show you the way that I'm thinking about it. Okay, if I see a data table, and I know these are proportional because I'm telling you these are proportional, whatever y divided by x always is, except the zeros. Don't worry about those. 4 divided by 1, 4. 8 divided by 2, 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Whatever that number is, that's the constant of proportionality. So the constant of proportionality for this problem is 4. And then if you think of that constant of proportionality with labels, okay, and so instead of thinking of 4 divided by 1, for example, think of it as 4 practices for every 1 week. So the unit rate is 4 practices per week. Stick the labels on. And we can go do the rest of the problem now. Look at the sentence I started with, right by the problem number up at the top, number 1. Emma has blank volleyball practices every week. Okay, that's got to be 4. We just figured that out. Look at the graph. Let's just start graphing the points. 0 weeks, 0 practices. I know that when you graph, these aren't going to be perfect. You can't do these really, really well on Google Slides, but we can just get pretty close. Okay, there's 0, 0. 1 week, 4 practices. Over to 1 week, up to 4 practices. Okay, 2 weeks, 8 practices. So over to 2 weeks, up until you're across from 8 practices. 312. Over to 3 weeks, up to 12 practices. And then 416, over to 4 weeks, up to 16 practices. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw the line. Select the line tool up here. Not going to be perfect, but it'll be pretty good. Okay, there's my line. Okay, now from my line that I got from my data, I can find the slope now, because my slope with labels is just rise over run. Okay, rise over run to get from one point to another. It doesn't matter which 2 points you use. Okay, the closer together the points, the less reducing you have to do. So I'm just going to go from here to here. Okay, up. Let's see. And again, it's hard to see the numbers maybe. So I'm really going from 4 to 8. So I'm going up 4 practices over 1 week. Okay, so my rise is I'm going up 4 practices, then I'm going over, I'm running 1 week. So reduce that, or simplify that. 4 divided by 1 is 4. 4 practices per week. And we've seen that before somewhere, right? 4 practices a week. Okay, my equation, it's always going to start with y equals, and then I'm going to put the slope or the constant of proportionality in next, which was 4, and then x. Y equals 4x. And a little reminder, why is the equation y equals 4 times x? Because if you look over here in your data, the y value on the right is always 4 times bigger than the x value on the left. Okay, this y value of 4 is 4 times bigger than 1. This y value of 8 is 4 times bigger than the x value of 2. Okay, and so on. That's always true. The y values on the right are always equal to 4 times the x value on the left. Okay, last question. How many weeks for Emma to have 48 practices? Okay, I can't really write on this without messing things up, but 48 practices, if I want to think of that 48 practices would be on the right-hand side. So 48 would be down here somewhere. You could carry on the pattern, add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4 until you get to 48. Okay, you could do it a harder way or a longer way. But notice that to get from the right side to the left side of your table, you would be dividing by 4 every time. Take the number on the right divided by 4 to get the number on the left. Okay, so if we have a 48 on the right side of the table because it's practices, divide that by 4 to get the number on the left. 48 divided by 4 is 12. So 12 weeks. And I'll be honest with you, about everything I did, there could have been a different way you could have reasoned it out, okay? But your goal is to just take what they gave you, the information they gave you, and to try to come up with the rest of the pattern, the rest of the problem, everything else from that one part. Okay, these are tricky. Let me know if you're having any questions and I'll help you.